All right, welcome everybody to season 7 of Beats, Beds, and Browns. We're here with our second interview. I hope you joined us as we caught Karma Cigar Bar live with Region 5 whiskey. Um, Things have really been popping. We can't believe the momentum that we've got. Obviously, tonight we've got Jae Haze. We'll be bringing him in a moment. We've recently been interviewed by Garden Culture magazine, as well as quoted in a Real Simple magazine article. We've got our growing and gardening 30-day challenge kicked off. Visit beatsbedsbrowns.com, the What's Up section, and download the 30-day grow challenge. And if you haven't gotten your free seed kit, 100K in 10 years, hashtag 100K in 10 years, all over the internet. Our mission to get people growing their own food. So tonight we've got Jae Haze, a Chicago hip hop artist known for blending introspective lyricism, independent hustle, and authentic storytelling rooted in the city's creative culture. As both a solo artist and a member of the Lil People with Rufus Sims, Haze represents the DIY spirit that continues to shape underground hip hop. His work reflects personal growth, community influence, balancing act between artistry, life, and longevity in today's music landscape. Give it up for Jae Haze. What
Yo,
up, Haze?
what's the deal, my boy? How you feeling, family?
Doing good, doing good. Thanks for your time this evening. We really appreciate it. As we kick off all these interviews, we're going to start this one the same way, man. Where you at, where you been, and where you going?
Man, where I'm at right now, leaving work. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at, we say where I'm at. Where I've been, man. I've been in my bag, man. I've been grinding it out. I've been getting disciplined. I've been in the gym. I've been, just around great people. I've been elevating. I've been bending. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm going, sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I'm looking at it right now, man.
I like it. I like it. On the go, cruising, shooting through
Yeah,
space like a rocket ship, reaching the top.
yeah.
Talk
I'm,
to
I'm
me
on.
about the juggle. Talk to me about how you balance those three things, music, work, fitness, health, and wellness. Talk to me about how you get it all in.
Man, bro, it's really a mental and disciplinary thing, man. I feel like for the most part, I feel like for anybody that's a creative, or you don't even have to be a creative. Anybody that's just motivated to go out there and get it, man. You kind of just got to stay on top of your shit, even when you don't feel like it. Even when your alarm go off and you want the extra 30 minutes, but you can't afford that because you might end up losing your job or end up losing a slot at a fucking a show or something like that, or just miss an opportunity in general. And I think that alone kind of keeps me grounded in it, but keeps me motivated to keep going. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing is, family. Like, I got kids, I got, little sisters, I got, my mom, grandmas and things like that. And I got, certain individuals that I call, close friends or brothers. And ultimately shit, like I say, when things hit the fan, I like to be the guy to kind of, help them out and put them in different positions. But the only way that I could do that is if, I'm putting myself in the right positions to be able to, help them progress and push forward. So that's kind of, my mentality, so to speak.
Every home needs a foundation. Somebody's got to be the rock. I like it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, what was the first record or artist that made you realize that hip hop was more than just something you wanted to listen to, but something that you wanted to live and represent?
Man, so just growing up, I heard a lot of, different music. I can't say I ever heard a whole lot of rap. Of course, I heard rap music growing up, like, the Crucial Conflicts, the Twisters, the Dr. Dre's, Snoops, and Tupac's, like different things, Biggie's, different things like that. But this is me at 7 years old, so I'm ultimately not even understanding the music, but it sounds cohesive, it sounds good, it's groovy. Um, but growing up, my mom used to always, play the things she like. She loved Tupac though. But she played people like, Mary J. Blige, Stevie Wonder, SOS Band, uh uh man, a ton of people, just in that realm. And I think by the time I made 12 years old, no, I was 10 actually. I think Nelly had just came out with Country Grammar. and that video was like hella big. But the thing that got me about the actual song was how he was creative enough to take a game that I always heard my sister and them play, the down, down, baby. Yo, he took that, and I was like, damn, this dude made a song out of some shit that they enjoy. And after that, I was just hella intrigued. I was living in Bellwood at the time, but then we eventually ended up moving to the south side of Chicago. I was living in Roseland on 102nd and Place. And for whatever reason, I don't know, I think my dad brought me this the black and white composition book. And like I said, Nelly was always in my head. I ultimately became a fan of Nelly. Like, he was one of my favorite rappers at the time. And then Jay-Z dropped the Dynasty album. So one of the very first songs I ever recited and wrote was 1-800 Hustler. Now, back in the day, we got CDs. So as I'm writing, the first line is like, I'm listening to it first. And he's like, here's a couple of suggestions of how you could finesse it. You find a dude in town, you send him a short message, say, hey. So then I press pause. I remember that, write it down. Start the song over, do it again. How you could finesse it. You find a dude in town, you send him a short message, say, hey, I'm new in town, I don't know my way around, pause. Write that down. Start it over. So by
So
the
you're
time
transcribing the
so
whole thing. Yeah.
yeah, so by the time we get into, I don't know, maybe his 14th, 13th bar, I'm already locked in. Like, I'm damn near not even having to read what I wrote. You know what I mean? I'm just waiting on the next part to roll around so I can write it down. And after that, I just picked up a niche to, kind of just start writing my own music. Well, I wasn't even writing songs then. I just was kind of, Eminem in the Eighth Mile, just jotting shit here and there and different things like that. But yeah, that's kind of how I got the ball rolling. And yeah, man, it's been on ever since.
And so, have you always been someone who writes down the thoughts in your head, or do you dictate them, or how do you just spit live in the studio? What's your preference?
I've always been a person to write it down first. That was like so I was what, 12, all the way up until I was about, maybe I say maybe like 31. Is when I kind of, because then I wasn't even writing in a notepad no more. We writing in phones now. Technology changed and shit. So now we writing in phones, and then it just got to a point where, I found myself like, man, I don't even know why it dawned on me like that, but I just found myself like, man, this shit feel like homework. And even though, at the end of the day, rap is homework, but I'm not a fan of school. So and then it was just ultimately like, man, I'm kind of not having fun doing this shit. And I used to be a great ass freestyle. I still is to this day, but that's all I used to do. Like, anybody that knew me from fucking sixth grade all the way up and through and out high school. Once I got out of high school, like, anybody that haven't, if somebody ain't seen me in 20 years, the first thing they're gonna be like, man, like, you still rapping? And it's like, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? So they know me to really just freestyle most of the time, and I kind of just started doing that when I like I said, when I turned about 30, 31. And then I record all my own music, so I got the luxury to be in my own place. I'm not on studio time. I don't got to rush. I could take my time. I could think freely and shit. I just started doing what Lil Wayne used to do, and every other artist that I thought was just going all the way through their rhymes, but really they was just punching in. So I was just doing a punching thing, and then ultimately, shit, I've been doing that since then. I just actually just recently, maybe like I probably say about 3 months ago, I recently just started back kind of writing a little bit in my phone. Even if I'm not writing a full verse, I might write like 8 to 10 bars, and then once I got that, I kind of just, you know what I'm saying, make the rest of it make sense just off top of my brain.
Yeah, and that's a lot of artists we talk to. They talk about the volumes of information that they've got that's been documented. I mean, sounds like you're similar. I mean, we're talking albums of content, right? You
Mhm,
just got your notebooks full, your phone's full, whatever it is.
mhm.
Yeah. What's inspiring you creatively currently?
To be perfectly honest with you, man, outside of just life's uh woos and woes, just my peers, bro. Like, I like seeing my peers. elevate and motivate me, man. Guys like, of course, my partner in rhyme, Rufus Sims, him and Jujilla just dropped the incredible project, put that on everything, man. Produced by, Excel. Um, but just those guys, man, Vic Spencer, Panamera P, I Am God, like just all these different guys, man. Like I'm ultimately inspired and motivated by them because they're not only just, you know, doing this shit to be doing this shit. They doing it with a purpose, but it sounds like it though. You know what I mean? And me being a consumer and me being a big fan of hip hop, I appreciate that kind of shit. And me and Rufus spend a unique amount of time together, just being brothers, but also being business partners, and being a duo. If we just sit up and kind of help each other, sharpen slow downs. That sound crazy, but we just try to keep each other we try to keep each other on our toes, and I think that's what give me a lot. And I watch bro, really, almost get to this shit to getting it taken away from him just due to whatever level of life he was living at different times. But each time he came back, he got stronger and he got stronger and he got stronger. Like he was one of the first people to actually show me the whole Chicago scene. This is like back in like 2012, because I didn't know Chicago held so much ground when it came to whether it was just underground hip hop or you know live industry shit. Only knew about the guys that made it to the industry like Twista, Common, Shauna, the Brad, different people like that. So seeing him, introduce me to these different producers that he knew, the different artists that he knew, like Chris Crack, and just a bunch of different people, man. It was just kind of it was an eye opener that, man, you got some real work to do, dude. You know what I'm saying? And he was able to kind of help guide me and shit. Since then, man, we just been like this. And like I said, he helps me get better. I help him get better. And we come together and just make shit happen, man. So I think that's my biggest inspiration, man. Just with doing this shit outside of me wanting to just do it for myself, and kind of prove that I can, I got that longevity. You know what I mean? Like I can actually be one of the elites in this shit, which I, ideally kind of feel like I am. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, no, it's incredible foundation. Just like you talked about at home, is Chicago has a foundation of artists and producers and people who've gone before. And I really feel that they are starting to connect to the young bucks and the emerging artists and give them that hand up, not just a hand out, but making
Yeah.
sure that they're connected and sharing their knowledge. Definitely shout out to Jujilla, season 2 All Star, Rufus Sims, season 4 All Star. That
Yeah.
project is blowing up. I'm seeing it everywhere across
Man,
social,
listen,
everywhere
not
across.
to cut you off, brother. I just had this conversation with him. I said, and not to say that Rufus or Jew, never had this kind of notoriety, but I said, man, just being perfectly honest, peer to peer, bro to bro, I'm like, man, I haven't seen a project from the crib because we in a microwave era. That shit came out like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I guess, and I'm still seeing it pop up in the algorithm. Like, what I'm saying? It's a amazing ass project, but it's with two amazing dudes who really know how to get busy when it come to, what I'm saying, really dropping bars on niggas. You know what I'm saying? So hell
They've
yeah,
put in
definitely.
work. Both of them have been, writing and performing and putting local shows together,
Yeah,
performing on stage, honing their craft.
yeah.
The culmination of years of effort. And that's another topic and question that we ask a lot of the artists we interview. There's this concept of overnight success, and
Hmm.
it's never overnight. It
Yeah.
always takes time to build that. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you reflect upon that?
I reflect on it the same way you look at it, man, because it's not ever an overnight thing. And I always, growing up, looking at, he is one of my favorite artists when it comes to rapping. For a while it was Lil Wayne. It still is. I got a lot of love for Wayne. He did a lot, in the game, and so did a lot of other people. But growing up, you never get to see the behind the scenes. You never know what they had to really do to get there. You just see them pop out on fucking BT, fucking MTV Spring Break and shit like that, and the dope ass Hype Williams, Chris Robinson videos and shit. And you just like, man, this dude dope. And it just seems like that shit just happened for him. But then when you get to see the behind the scenes, the background, the documentaries, like just the hearing different stories, like or hearing them tell their story, it's like, man, would have known like you went through all of those hurdles and fucking loopholes just to get where you at today. And I feel like even with business, like if you start a business, like anybody that has a business or knows business knows that those first 2 to 3 to 5 years, you're probably not gonna make the money that you think you're gonna make. But once that 5 year mark hits, then it's like, yeah, your shit starts to grow a little bit more. You start to get that notoriety. You start to, you know what I'm saying, have your shit, getting the way you need it to be. And that shit doesn't happen over time. And it's the same thing with the music. It's like I've never stopped doing this shit. I've been doing this shit since 12. Just on a just doing the level, but professionally and business wise, like it's been about a nice 10 to 12 years where I'm like really super locked in on what's needed, what licenses you need, what just with plain background you need to really consider yourself a full-fledged artist, you know what I'm saying? And even being independent without having somebody handing it to you, and then you have to go do your homework. Or some people are just lazy when they get it handed to them. They don't even care to go back and do the research and do the homework on, what this consists of or what that consists of. They just kind of in it to, get a little money, get their roll off, so to speak, and that's kind of it. But nah, this shit take a lot of effort. It take a lot of tough skin. It take a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying? And it also take a lot of mental capacity. You know what I'm saying? For you to be able to deal with, because people gonna have their opinions, but it's ultimately up to you, man, to ignore the negative shit, take in the positive shit, but continue to grow from all of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of my take.
Let's talk revenue. You mentioned, it takes a couple of years to build a revenue stream, and I know we've seen some unique approaches to that. We were Rico Shy, who we're interviewing next week, had a
Mhm.
private listening party for his record launch. Rufus and Jujilla similarly had a private listening party with some merch tied in where you bought a ticket. And again, I've been to shows with these guys. It's very hard to fill a bar, a venue with local hip hop audiences. Even when
Mhm.
guys come through from out of state, we've seen some Detroit guys and some national players come through. You always got to have merch. You always got to have that multiple revenue streams. From a business standpoint, what's
Yeah.
the priority for you in building a brand? Is it streaming? Is it merchandise? Is it performance? Or is it something else?
I think for the most part, for me, it's definitely, for one, it's the music itself. If the music ain't polished, if the art, I'm talking about like the actual like art cover, how you look as a person, how you represent yourself as a person, that's number one for me. Because when you trying to, ultimately showcase yourself to people, I don't think nobody really want to look at somebody who don't look like who they say they are. And somebody told me that a long time ago, OG, you know what I'm saying? He was like, man, it was a cat standing on a corner trying to sell the CDs, but he looked it terrible. And I get it. He probably was just trying to come up. But it's like, man, you gotta, even if, to me, it's like, even if you gotta fake it till you make it, even if you gotta whatever, go get some white tee, some plain jeans, man. You get a nice little haircut or something, and you got a CD with some dope ass art. Somebody probably give you opportunity versus you just giving them. They feel like you giving them some shit that look like bullshit, and there might be some fire on it, but they don't want to see that. So I feel like anything that you attach to you has to be the same as you representing yourself, and I think merch definitely. I'm hardly ever, now we in a time now where a lot of nostalgic things are, in play, cassette tapes, CDs, vinyl, um different shit like that, pins, fucking whatever, you know what I'm saying, t-shirts, like, and me and Rufus, for a minute, we had the whole, RAN thing, the Real Artist Network, or, in street, for street terminology, it was the real ass nigga shit. And we, man, we had our neighborhood cracking with that shit just with the clothes itself. But the clothes brought people closer to what we were doing with the music. So now we get to come out to shows 30 and 40 deep, everybody dressed in brand clothing, you know what I'm saying? And it just looks good. So I feel like, having those tangible things to be able to sell to people and kind of get their attention is most important to me for the brand. Cause it's like how else can you spread your brand outside of just streaming? You know what I'm saying? Cause me and you both know nobody's really making no money off fucking streaming, bro. Like, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, it's not like record sales, you know what I'm saying? And we figured that loophole out. The only way you can actually make this shit count is if people are going to fucking Google Music or Google Play, or not going to Apple Music, going to iTunes and purchasing. You know what I'm saying? And we've done that before. We came out with Coke Raps back in I think it was during like COVID or something like that. The first Coke Raps. We figured out the glitch in the matrix, and we like, well, shit, we need everybody to go to fucking iTunes, man. And we made a healthy amount of money. It was probably more money than we ever seen off of music. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like no tens of thousands and no shit, but it was a couple grand. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we was able to eat. And then, we just kind of kept trying to roll with that same mentality. Like, man, go buy the music. Y'all can stream all day, but y'all already paying, you know what I'm saying, these platforms to listen to whatever amount of music you want to listen to. That's not you buying it. You're just listening, and we get a percentage of a stream, which is really a penny or some shit like that. It's stupid, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's the
fraction
ultimate
of a
goal.
penny stream, right? The numbers are ridiculous. It's incredible. And again, there's discovery, right? Where we listen to some of those streaming platforms to get on new artists and get turned on people outside of our scope. But I like how some artists have been launching on Bandcamp or even some other independent platforms where if you want to listen to it, pay for it and then get it and own it and possess it and stream it whenever you want. It's a different mindset. And I don't know that there's a lot of, I don't want to say engaged music fans, but people that want to do the research to unearth these polished and hidden gems.
Yeah. Yeah. I've even seen guys like Vic Spencer, man. Shout out to my dog, Vic G Foul. But I've even seen him take advantage of his following, because Vic has a pretty nice following. But I've even seen him take advantage of his following. Like, yo, if you want this project, you got to give me $20, and I'm gonna give you the Dropbox link.
Yep.
And that's the only place you're gonna find that project is on that Dropbox link. I don't even know if he ever dropped that project on DSP, but smart move. You know what I'm saying? It's
He was
another way to
what
just,
I had in mind, yeah. And I know he's gone overseas and does some live
you
concerts.
know what
And
I'm saying? So it's like, how could you not take advantage of that, man? When and I just seen Vic sell out vinyls multiple times. You know what I'm saying? So it's just an amazing thing to see that, you can actually use what you got, man, and get what you want.
and again, a Vic Spencer, a legendary artist, featured in Rolling Stone,
Mm-hmm.
godfather of the game in Chicago, and again works full time as well. So it is
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so much for the passion, so
Mm-hmm.
much for the game, and then so much just striving for that revenue in any way. Just like the craft distillers that we interviewed, just like the farmers trying to turn their efforts commercial. There's a lot of overlap in those three things. So,
Absolutely.
what about being an independent artist? What are some misconceptions that people have?
I think it's so many different ones. I heard so many misconceptions just from people thinking like, if you independent, if you not main, because a lot of people don't understand how this goes. And I'm talking about people who just don't understand the business, people who not even in the business. They just listen to music, they just consumer. It's like, oh, you're independent, you ain't in the industry, or you don't know this person, or you don't got this connect. But it's like, dude, it's a whole nother realm when it comes to you being an independent artist, bro. Again, this is very similar to someone starting a business. You know what I'm saying? It's the same exact thing, bro. You have to work. You have to put the work in. You have to put yourself out there. You have to, you know what I'm saying, do all these different things that you got to do, man, to make your business a popular business, like Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? Like Rufus always use these terms all the time. He like, man, you got all types of different Coke. We all know the first type of Coke was Coca-Cola, but then you got RC. You know what I'm saying? You got Pepsi, but all of them have their own thing because they made it. They worked hard to
Yeah,
do that.
it's still brown sugar water, right?
You know what I'm
Like,
saying? Like, basically, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, dude, like, if you don't understand that concept, and you think that because I'm an independent artist, that makes me lesser than, or less of the artist that you maybe look up to or idolize, then it's like, yeah, you just don't understand how this shit go. And a lot of the times, I don't even care to, break that down and explain it to them, because you will never understand anyway. This not your thing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
it's a
that's
mentality, and again, we pride ourselves on interviewing lyricists and street poets and
yeah,
people whose lyrics stack up over the test of time. And
yeah,
then you talk about the business challenge, building a brand, and the consistency that it takes to launch and grow a business. Talking to Rufus at the record release party, it was all about streaming algorithm is down, so we got to get new stuff out there. It's like you
Hmm.
commoditize that art, and again, because independent artists have so much in production or in their notebook, then you don't want to burn yourself out, right? But when you
Yeah,
look at historically in music, even
yeah,
Mozart, right, had a peak where it was a 3 to 5 year period where they put out the most content, and then we're still picking off that. We're still enjoying that. So. Um,
absolutely,
I love to see it. I love to hear it. I love to be in Chicago to be able to benefit from it.
man, definitely.
And again, Chicago has a way of building you up. Chicago can tear you down too. Talk to me
Yeah.
about the city and how it's challenged your spirit creatively.
Man, bro, I feel like Chicago just a different monster, bro. Like I said earlier, man, if your skin not tough, man, you gonna fizzle out. You gonna melt like fucking rain and sugar, bro. Like you know what I'm. It's just it's like I don't know, bro. It's you gotta be built for this shit. And I feel like that with being anywhere, man. Like you just you gotta know your personnel, man. You gotta be able to withstand, bro, the storm, bro. And then after the storm is over, bro, you still gotta be able to pick up the pieces and keep at it, bro, because the shit don't stop, bro. It's always somebody else right behind you, somebody else that may or may not make well, I'm gonna just say it might be somebody that's better than you, man. It might be somebody younger than you that just jumped in this shit, bro, and got outside and really made it happen. But it's with Chicago, it's hard to impress Chicagoans. And I'm a more so just say it's hard to impress our culture. You know what I'm saying? Like more so black people because black people got this, I don't know, they got this stigma with it. Like I said, they look at you and if they feel like you not like this guy that they like, it's just like, oh, he not on shit. Who the fuck is this dude? You know what I'm saying? But it's like you go out to these bigger shows where it's a mixed variety of people. You got Mexicans, you got Latinos, you got Puerto Ricans, you got white people, you got all types of these motherfuckers that actually just enjoy hip hop. They don't give a fuck where it's coming from as long as it's good. You know what I mean? But coming up, how we coming up is it get a little difficult at times, and which is okay because this shit build character at the end of the day. I don't give a fuck. We did shows where it was fucking 10 people in the room. We did shows where it was 2,000 people in the room. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and sometimes that was in different places, but at the end of the day, it's like, man, at the end of the when it's all said and done, man, you just gotta have that tough skin, man. You gotta just be able to ignore the dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Because people gonna have their opinion. They subject to it. They say whatever they gonna say. They feel however they gonna feel, man. But y'all could never be in my shoes. You know what I'm saying? You can never do what I've done or accomplish what I've done in the past, decade, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And nor could you compete with any of my peers because we're the ones that's actually put that work in that, and still to this day, if motherfucker hit my name or hit Rufus' name or a Vic or a Jew, it's like, oh shit, Jew Jilla, Jae Haze, you just like, yeah, we got that. Everybody can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So to me, Chicago is Chicago, man. It's a jungle, you know what I'm saying? And if you ain't one of them animals who built for this shit, it's best you get out the way because you fuck around gonna lose your slot. You know what I'm saying? So
Definitely a vein of positivity as we talk about the different media enterprises that have popped up, the different collaboration with art. I mean, I see everybody working together, collaborating.
mhm,
Folks like the Real Water putting on the Renaissance of Culture.
mhm,
Folks like Fillmore Green putting on Fillmore and Friends. These
mhm.
collective concerts where everybody can get together. Again, that positive environment, safe and secure for everyone to attend. You see any of those shows, please pop out. It really
Yeah,
has been a great experience. Um,
absolutely.
was there ever a point you considered walking away from music?
Man, you know what? That's funny. So like, and this was like some years back. Um, you know, being an independent artist, man, sometimes like, yeah, you gonna feel like, damn, like this shit ain't ain't working. This shit ain't this and shit ain't that, man. But some of the greatest fucking people ever live, bro. They went through this same shit, whether they were playing sports or trying to be a fucking doctor or trying to pass the bar, the things to that nature. It's like, man, it's nothing beat a failure but a try. And even if you fell, and it's like, man, if you able to get back up and keep chipping away at that shit, dude, it's nobody can really take that away from you. Nobody could. And again, that's the same shit that also builds character. But yeah, like I thought about it once or twice, And the last time that I thought about it, this the other thing that keep me motivated. The last time that I thought about it was like I had to question myself. I was like, dude, you've been doing this shit for 20 plus. Like I said, professionally 10, 12 years, but just collectively, it been about 20 plus, bro. You would just hang it up after 20 plus, after everything you did, after all the projects you put together, after all the relationships that you built, after all the networking that you did, after, after all the traveling, after all the money you spent. It's like, hell no, some gotta shake. Even if for me, I'm not looking to be no superstar, bro. Like if it happened like that, great. You know what I'm saying? My biggest thing is just, having that core following, being able to again sell merch, being able to do shit like go on, small tours and, make money off shit like that, and then still have that notoriety because at the end of the day, it's still a word of mouth thing. People talk. So I might run into went and did a show or somewhere and nobody ever knew shit about me and they see my show and they fascinated about it. Now they get to go on the internet and talk or put up videos or whatever the fuck they got and be like, nah, hey man, this dude Jae Haze, a fucking monster or whatever like that. So it's just like thinking about that shit is like, yeah, man, I could never. I don't know, bro. I'll probably be 50 fucking 60 years old, bro, still barring shit up. I don't know. You know what I'm
Hope so.
saying? But
Let's hope
but
so for sure. Yeah. Think
you
about
know,
20 years ago, you would have killed to be where you're at now. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
And a
showing
lot of people,
how could you walk away?
I know a lot of people, bro, who gave this shit up, which I understand. You get older, you get family, your wife probably tired of your ass being out trying to figure this shit out when you got fucking bills up to the fucking ceiling and shit. And it's like, hey, dude, we gotta tighten up. You know what I'm saying? And I understand it, but I could never, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's all peace to them. You know what I'm saying? They did what they thought they could have did, you know what I'm saying, at the time. I guess it just didn't work out. But for me, ain't no fucking plan B, Joe. You know what I'm saying? It's no plan B, bro. It's like if plan A don't work, we going to plan 8.2. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, bro. Like I don't know. I gotta. That's just my shit, bro. Like I love music, bro. And even if it's not me, popping off with my own music personally, I don't give a fuck because I songwrite and shit too. Even if it's some shit like that, even if I end up being a fucking exec or something or a fucking I don't know, or whatever, bro, a fucking label owner or some shit. It's gonna be something intertwined with
Yeah.
music. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
You got to chase your passion. You got to do the things that excite you, get you out of bed in the morning. I mean, and again, this is what a post-COVID middle-aged man's dream
yeah,
here. Knowing that
yeah,
we're hosting here, we've grown, we've got media coverage, we've got all these things. I go to concerts, I still get chills. Like hearing
yeah,
the music and hearing how people are reflecting upon their experience. Like
yeah,
I had to be somewhere. I had to be tangential to it. So
yeah,
I understand.
absolutely.
Um, what do you think is harder today, getting noticed or staying inspired?
That's a good one. Um, I'm probably gonna have to go with getting noticed. And I'm saying that because let's just put it like this: being independent, this should take money. For you to kind of corner your market. Because you got to campaign, you gotta have sponsors, you gotta fucking, again, pay to be going to different places to meet different people to see what you can come up with. You know what I'm saying? So when you don't have the capital, so to speak, it's a little tough to get noticed. You know what I'm saying? Versus how anybody else could just, oh well, hey, I got a buddy that work with such and such, man. He can get you in the gate, and this for the newer, up and coming artists that just kind of seems like they get on like they celebrity overnight. You know what I'm saying? They the ones that kind of pop overnight where it's like they didn't never had to put no work in. They just got discovered because they put up a wild ass video on Instagram. It got some attention. And then you know how the labels is nowadays, bro. So much shitty music that's kind of oversaturating the game. And then it's also a lot of, it's also a lot of great music that's, you know what I'm saying, fulfilling the game. You know what I'm saying? Making people, remember like why they still in this shit or why music really make them feel the way it makes them feel. But I definitely think it's getting noticed. It's hard to get noticed when you don't necessarily got the capital or the network to do so. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like relationships are everything, bro. So it's like you kind of got to take advantage. It ain't always about the money. It could be me and you. you know, we ain't necessarily had multiple conversations or, you know, things to that nature, but it's like, yo, I've met people based off music, and the relationship is going, and they probably had shit going on. They probably had different opportunities for me, like sync like opportunities or different shit like that. For I can make some money. But for me it's like shit, I could be calling you talking about reaching out to you trying to do some shit like this for a project or whatever like that, and I don't even have that relationship with you, but I feel like once I get that relationship with you and we get cool and I see you out and about and it's all love, it'll get to a point where I feel like if you that cool, then I could call you up and we don't even gotta talk about that. It's like, man, like you were just telling me earlier, like, man, what's up with the kid, man? How football going? Like, how, you know, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? How the family feeling, bro? When the next time you coming outside, like what you got going on this weekend, different shit like that. To
You don't
kind
know
of,
yet because we haven't wrapped up the interview. But as I pull you out of the green room or into the green room, that's what I'd say. We're attached at the hip now, man. You're part of the Beats, Beds, and
nah,
Browns family.
absolutely, that's love, bro.
6 months, we'll do a show. You need something, you call me. I'll set up a table.
That's
It's
love,
we're
bro.
connected, man. You support me. That's much love. I'm going to support you as I
That's
have
love,
and will
bro.
continue to do, brother. So
That's
absolutely.
love. That's love, bro. But yeah, that's how I look at this shit ultimately, man. And that's what it's about. You know, because you never know. With I always tell people, like some of my peers that's kind of do music but not as serious as I do, and they be asking these questions like, man, how you get this, how you get that, and how can you put me in plays? It's like I can only do so much, but the first thing you got to do is come outside. You know what I'm saying? You can't be fucking huddled up in your room or your fucking studio all day thinking this shit just about to come to you because you made a couple posts on Instagram. Nah, you got to jump out here and see who out here because you never know who you're going to meet. That person might change your life. You know what I'm saying? Just based off you having a simple relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? And that's ultimately, you know, how I look at this shit in retrospect.
Yeah, no, that's why we all got to be outside for sure.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right. In terms of underground hip hop, either in
Mhm.
Chicago or nationally, what do you think's missing?
Man, what's missing? I guess when it comes to the underground, man, me personally, I'm gonna just say for me, I think what's missing is just some more just thorough people in position. I think it's too much. People will kind of overlook the great shit. Like even in Chicago, you know, they kind of got the scope on shit right now. Like even from, you know, when Fillmore did the fucking Fillmore and Friends show, which was probably one of the best showcases I've been to in Chicago. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right? Without a
Outside,
doubt.
you know what I'm saying? Just the people he was able to bring out off of relationships, off of him being Fillmore Green. Like he would have never been able to invite an Easy LP or what's my guy? He had everybody down. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? He had a ton of bigs out, slow down. And I'm like, you know, I feel like not even just in Chicago, but anywhere, bro. It's like the great shit always kind of get overlooked for the mid grade shit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if we really had more thorough players or more thorough pushers, if you will, like to kind of be out here and be like, okay, now I saw that because everybody always watching. I don't give a fuck if they try to act like you know they don't see you. Like everybody always watching. That's why Chicago is one of the meccas of people taking certain shit from the crib, whether it's the lingo, whether it's whether it's the looks, whether it's, you know, whatever, bro. Like they get a lot of shit from the crib. And sometimes it even boils down to, you know, they might hear somebody's song that's nice, like from a Rufus or a Jew or some shit, and take that and run with it and flip it and make it to for somebody else instead of being like, hey, who is the Rufus and Jew Jilla motherfuckers? I need to get them, you know what I'm saying, in the studio. I need to get them around me. I need to discuss business. You know what I'm saying? I need to get some shit going with them. I don't think we got enough of that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
there's a whole infrastructure that needs to be involved in supporting. And even as that has evolved, we had AM Early Morning putting out a lot of shows, bringing out Rome Streets and Daniel's Son. You've got
Mm-hmm.
NFO Studios, putting out great interview
Them
content.
my
You've got
guys.
Lights, yeah,
Yep. Yep.
Times. It's incredible, just in the last couple of years what has evolved. But it's funny because then you've got some of these new artists that are coming out. They got 120,000 TikTok followers, and music maybe isn't singing much.
But it's, you know,
I'm not
and
tapping
no
anybody's
and no
expression. Right? Everybody's got a
no
right to
hate.
express,
No,
but
no hate to them. You know what I'm saying? Like if it worked, it fucking worked. You know what I'm saying? I can't knock it, but it's like, yeah, it's just that fucking simple. When it's like, again, there's guys out here that have been putting work in, like real valid feet to concrete structured work in. You know what I'm saying? And all it takes is for somebody to see a stupid ass TikTok, and it's really the following. They see that and they like, oh, I need this kid because it's a money grab. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about talent. It's about who how can I make the most money from this situation? You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it.
All right, Hayes. Well, we're rounding third. I don't know if you've seen any episodes prior, but we've got a series called Hard Hitters and Wig Splitters, where we ask you rapid fire questions and we look for you to give us the first answer that's on your head.
Okay,
If that's something that you're prepared for, we're going to go ahead and launch into it. We've got a couple questions lined up here. You ready?
let's do it.
All right. This, that, do or die, yes or no? All right, we're here with Hard Hitters and Wig Splitters with Jae Haze. Thank you
Mhm.
for joining us in our season 7 interview. We're going to
My
kick
God,
this off with vinyl or streaming.
shit. uh, that's funny as hell. I'm gonna go streaming, bro. Just cause that's the, everybody don't got a fucking record player and shit. You know what I'm saying? Even though I love the nostalgicness, and I know, you got to be a certain person to really, kind of sell out vinyl and make a lot of money off that shit. And even though you're not really making a lot of money off streams, you do get a lot of people to pay attention versus, trying to give out vinyl. So I'm gonna go streaming.
Nice. Studio snack of choice.
Shitting me. I'm not even a snacker. If I had to have probably some fucking pistachios or some shit, and a
Nice.
and a and a and a, and a, and a good beer or some shit like that. I don't know.
There you go. Heart healthy pistachios. There you go.
Yeah,
Late night creation or early morning sessions.
always late night. Everything late night. Late night, late night.
Best Chicago hip hop album.
Damn. I'm gonna go Adrenaline Rush to me.
Most important hip hop movie.
Most important hip hop movie. Damn. You might just stump me with that. Most important
Fresh
hip.
Groove, Juice. What do you got? Everything in between.
Ooh.
Bentley. What else you got?
Uh, maybe Crush Groove, just because you got to see how Russell Simmons and my guy, what's his name? I'll be having brain farts. Uh, what's the white cat name with the beard, man? I keep forgetting
Yeah,
his
I
fucking
got it in
name.
my head. I went right to Fat Boys and Beastie Boys and LL Cool J.
And even though I wasn't even old enough to in that era to know exactly what was going on, when I got older and saw that movie, it was like it was dope as hell just to see how they kind of replicated how Def Jam came about and shit. So yeah, I'll say some shit like that, Crush Groove.
Yeah, nice. Before all the gossip came out and broke everybody up.
Yeah.
Uh, what's more important, bars, beat selection, or voice?
Damn, you just gonna do me like that, man. Then can I say all three?
Of
Cause
course you can. Yeah,
I'm gonna say all three, dude. Cause I mean, you to have one without the other is kind of, I don't know, baffling to me, man. You gotta, if you got bars, bro, it's like that's one thing. Your beat selection can't be trash. If you don't got no style, I don't know. That's just kind of a waste of fucking time to me. So yeah, I'm gonna say all three.
nice. Freestyle or written?
Shit, probably I'm gonna say written, bro. Even though it's not necessarily freestyle because I ain't writing shit down, but I'll say writing, man. I'm gonna say writing.
Name one artist who got better with age.
Industry wise,
Yeah,
shit, me.
there you go. Continuous
Shit,
improvement. I like it.
yeah, yeah. I hear older shit from me and I be like cringe as fuck, but like yeah, like I'm gonna say me shit.
Last song that gave you goosebumps.
Mm. Uh, God damn it, bro. Shit, I don't know, bro. It's been a while since I got some goosies. I don't know, probably some shit from one of the guys, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. Probably some shit from one of the guys, bro. Like I haven't nobody in the industry right now really didn't gave me no goosebumps. I heard some incredible music, but like goosebump worthy, like hell no.
Yeah. All right, last question. What record perfectly represents Chicago to you?
Damn. Shit. LEP, Bogus Boys.
All right, gotta add that one to my list.
Yeah, Chicago niggas, like yeah, they just bored it down. They bored it down to me.
LLP, Bogus Boys.
Yeah, shout out G Count. It's my doggy. Shout out Count.
All right, nice.
Or G.
All right, well, you survived the gauntlet. You made it through Hard Hitters and Wig Splitters. We appreciate your insights.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
definitely tell the people where they can find you. We're going to close out the interview. I'm going to pull you out of the green room, but let them know where they can locate you and find your sound.
I'm on all DSPs, man, at Jae Haze. That's JAEHAZE. You can find me on Instagram at the real Jae Haze. That's TheRealJaeHaze. Same thing on Twitter, Facebook, JAEHAZE, YouTube, JAEHAZE.
All right, tap in, subscribe, do a deep dive, spend all weekend streaming. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother. We gotta do this again, man. Huh?
Yeah, we appreciate you too. We're going to go ahead and pull you out into the green room. We'll talk after we conclude the show, but I'm going to close out, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
You,
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Take it easy. Check in. All right, that was Jae Haze in our second interview of season 7. This year, we're running the gamut of beats, beds, and browns. Again, we're interviewing emerging hip hop artists, garden interests from homestead to commercial ag and bourbon whiskey distillers. You've got someone you think we should interview, tap in at Beats, Beds, Browns. Go ahead and share that with us. We'll reach out, make it happen. If you haven't started your garden, hashtag 100K in 10 years. Find out about our mission and vision to put 100,000 seed kits in people's hands over the next 10 years, get them growing their own food. And whether you're growing a brand, a business, or a distillery, make sure that you tap in. And as always, happy planting.